Oh hey, welcome to my desk. Today I'm going to be doing some single line drawings. Okay. So, I went through a phase for a while where I was really into doing like single line drawings. I think probably because it was like trendy at the time, and then also I was really into like Picasso's single line drawings. He used to do these like paintings and drawings of different animals with a single line, and he would record himself doing it too. I remember watching videos of him doing it and thinking they were really cool. So I guess that's why I was into it, and I was thinking that looseness is something that you can only get with repetition. You know, you have to do things that look terrible or ugly or they just don't work so many times before things just fall into place, if you know what I mean. Which, definitely a lesson in there for someone smarter than me to interpret. But what I know, or what I take from it, is just that effortlessness requires a lot of effort. Or maybe not effort, but at least a lot of time in order to do things like as if they didn't cause any work or trouble. You have to put in a lot of work and a lot of trouble. And you have to really just make a lot of ugly things before you get to the cool stuff. And this is not going to be like the most amazing thing. Honestly, my process of making things like this back in the day, even though they looked so simple, they would take me the longest. I would literally make lines over and over and over again, and then while I was putting those lines together, like in a composition, I would be moving things like a quarter of an inch, and then staring at it for like 20 minutes, and then moving it back, and staring at it. Like, my actual process of making these things, it's embarrassing how long it actually took me. Just because I was so indecisive, and you would think like it looks so simple, but honestly I spent a lot of time perfecting, or not even perfecting, but just agonizing over little details that probably no one else would care about. But I did. And honestly, I still have a little bit of that in me, but I've definitely moved past that kind of energy a lot since then. I still like to take my time with things, but I tend not to be as obsessive about it as I used to be. Which I think, you know, I don't know, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. Maybe my work back then was just more refined or not. Like, I don't know. But I think I'm in a better place, so that's the main thing. And now I just want to get any little empty spots that might need it. But I think I'm, pretty much done. So yeah, maybe this one is a little bit shorter than others, but well, I hope you like this one. Let me know in the comments if you have any warm-ups or things you like to do before drawing, or yeah, anything. Just leave me a comment, and I will see you in the next one.